Alright everyone, so as you can see on screen, that's the outline of my new training program that I've been following, and I've been running this for near enough 4 weeks now. At the time of recording this, I've nearly finished my 4th week, but I'm going to share with you in this video today my first 3 weeks of training, and as you can see, it has me running quite a high frequency, 6 days a week, so that's a big change from the 3 days a week that I was running starting strength novice program. But one thing you will notice is the volume is drastically lower per session. So as you can see, I'm only actually usually doing one working set for each exercise, and I'm squatting, I'm pressing, and I'm pulling each workout. So if we exclude Monday week 1, because that was actually the last starting strength workout I did, if that's confusing anyone, that's all that is. That was the last starting strength I did. But apart from that, as you can see, there's for example, if we look on week 1, Tuesday, you can see there's S bracket, that means squat, 90 kilos for 1 rep. Then you can see below that P, press, 55 kilos for 1 rep. Then C, chin up, 30 kilos for 1 rep. Now I'm sure you can work out what the rest of the things mean, R, row, B, bench, all that good stuff. And basically, sometimes I do back off sets from the heavy kind of somewhere around the, because obviously these maxes here, these are about 90% training max that I'm usually hitting. So it's 90% or above generally that I'm trying to stick to as a rough outline. So how best to explain this? Basically, let's say on Tuesday I hit 90 kilos, Tuesday week 1, I hit 90 kilos for 1 rep on the squat. Then when I went in on Wednesday, on the next day, I felt like I'd get a second rep, so I went for it. I got 2 reps just fine. Then on Thursday, I went in. I was feeling a little bit weaker on Thursday, so I only managed to get 1 rep with 90. I didn't bother going for the second rep. I judged off how my first rep went that, there's probably not 2 reps there today, or if there was 2 reps there, it'd be an absolute grinder. And I don't really want to be grinding any reps, like mega grinders, because it'll probably mess up my recovery for the next day. But as you can see, then when it came to Friday, because I wasn't, using my ego and I didn't try and absolutely grind out that second rep on Thursday, I actually got 3 reps on Friday. And you can see how the progression would go on depending on how I feel. And like I was saying, on Monday, as you can see, Monday week 2, I then bumped up the squat, so we had a weight increase to 92.5 kilos for 1 rep. Once I hit 3 reps, then I'll up the weight, if it's a good 3 reps. Sometimes, if I'm not sure and I didn't quite like how the 3rd rep went, I might stick with that weight for a little longer. But as a general rule, once I hit 3 reps on a given weight, I'm going to increase the weight back up. And the first time I hit a new weight, I'm always going to do 1 rep. Even if I feel like I can do more, I'm always just going to hit 1 rep. That is a tip that I picked up of people who have ran a similar style of programming in the past. Say whenever you hit a new weight, just do it for 1 rep, even if you think you can get more, and that's going to give you better gains in the long run. So, stick to that advice, and it's been working well so far. But as you can see, the general consensus, if you look on a week-by-week basis, is that all the lifts are increasing, which is what I'm after. Like I'm going to outline now, I'm going to flip in this here for some context. These are all my best lifts on the starting strength program, okay? So some of these are actually specific 1 rep max attempts that I ran on the program. Others are just the best that I achieved in a random session, So it wasn't exactly like I went for chin up max and had a specific day to go for that. That's just the best weight that I achieved, during the workout. Same with the row. I didn't have a specific day where I went in and I was like, I'm going to see how much I can row for a 1 rep max. That never happened, but that's the best weight that I got in just a normal working set. And also, as you can see at the top of this, 48 hours recovery. So before each of these lifts, I'd usually had at least 1 day off. Sometimes we're looking above 48 hours for some of these lifts, and that's important to consider, because if I flip it back to the table here, you can see if I hit, let's say, on Saturday, week 3, 95 kilos for 2 reps, okay? That is matching my all-time high bar squat. So we can see that this program in 3 weeks, as some of you might be skeptical, like, oh, well, you've only hit 95 for 2 reps. You haven't really made any progress. But if you consider that that was actually my 6th day in a row of squatting at around about 90% or above my 1 rep max, that's actually pretty good. That is a PR in a sense. It's not a weight PR because, no, it wasn't 96 kilos for 2 reps, but judging on the fact that I actually squatted for 5 days prior to that session, I'm pretty happy with that. That's something that we've got to take into consideration. Now, I've probably missed a few points about this program, and I'm not an expert on this. As I said, I've just a style of training that I've decided to run. I didn't pick this up from a specific book. I've just been looking at a few videos online and kind of came up with this general consensus. And so far, it's working well. I'm just judging how I feel, how the progress seems to work for me. And some days, naturally you feel like, okay, I'm just going to stick to the 1 rep today. Other times you're feeling really strong, think you can get the triple. And I'm judging it off that, just bar speed in general as well. So say if on my last warm-up set my bar speed is really, really slow, then that will indicate to me that perhaps this isn't a good time to try and go for that triple on a given weight. And in fact, maybe I should just go for 1 rep, you know what I mean? And other times you might find that, say, if we look at week 3 on the squat, towards the end of the week, I was hitting 95 kilos on a consistent basis. But perhaps, let's say, hypothetically, if I came in on week 4, Monday, and I was going to do my squats then, and I just felt like, for whatever reason, I just couldn't do 95, and my last warm-up set just felt really, really difficult. Then on that day, you know what? I might just say, let's just do a single on 92.5. I'm not afraid to back it down one day, because what you'll usually find, if you take it slightly easier, a slightly lower load on that day, the next day you'll come back and you'll probably hit a PR. That's just another thing that I found on the program. But yeah, so I hope this makes sense. If there's any more questions, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to explain it. But without further ado, let's get into some of the training clips. Alright, so one last thing before we get into the training clips. As you can see on screen here, I have the goals over the next 8 weeks running this program. Obviously, at the time recording this, I'm nearly halfway through the program, so I'm nearly finished my 4th week of training. But nevertheless, it's always good to set goals, and I'm outlining it here. If you want to list your goals for the next 8 weeks of training or whatever training cycle you're on, feel free to do so in the comment section below. I'm sure you'll receive a lot of support about that, and I'm sure you guys will support me on my journey to hit these goals. Short-term goals, I guess, maybe medium-term goals, whatever you want to call it. Either way, these lifts will be hit or I'll get very, very close over the next few weeks. If I do hit any of these goals before the time's up, I'll post a video, just a training clip, so you can see that I've ticked one of them off the list. The one that I'm probably most going for at the moment, and the main reason I'm doing this program, is that high bar squat. I really want to get a good 5 kilos over that 2-plate mark. Obviously I want to be squatting that 2 plates on a consistent basis, but then I want to get above and beyond that and I'll be able to hit that 105. So, really excited to do that. As you can see, my press is a good 5 kilo above any 1 rep max that I've done before. So definitely pause, bench, press, going for that. Should get somewhere close, hopefully. And again, the row and the chin up, quite ambitious. But with the chin up, I've got a bit of a muscle memory on my side. Although muscle memory isn't as powerful as some people would have you believe, but it still definitely does help a bit. So yeah, obviously I've done a 50 kilo chin up in the past, but I was about 5 kilos lighter, I believe. So, it kind of equates. I've still got a bit of muscle memory to work on. But anyway, let's get into the training clips. Alright, so we're kicking off these training clips with the standing press. As you can see, this is 56.5 kilos on the bar, I believe. For whatever reason, I've lost that clip of me doing 58 kilos, but I'll put that in. Maybe even I'll be pressing more by that point in the next video. But yeah, here's 56.5 kilos. As you can see, pretty decent. I need to just get that lockout a little bit more solid. On my left side, I always struggle a bit more with that lockout, but I'm working on it and it's getting stronger. So really happy with that. And I've changed my grip. I've narrowed it slightly on the overhead press, which I find is working well for me. Now this here, as some of you might recognize this guy, it's Sam, who I was running the Starting Strength Novice program with. He's back at uni now, but I just thought I'd flip that in. It was his attempt at 60 kilos. I think he smashed the 55 kilo overhead press, but when he went for the 60, he couldn't quite get it on that day. But I've put that in there, and when he comes back, he's going to be training with me over winter as well. So, you will get the progress there, and I'm sure he'll come back and be able to overhead press that 60 kilos. Anyway, here's some high bar squat footage. I believe this was 95 kilos for 2. So yeah, one of the top sets that I built up to. And yeah, as you can see, look pretty decent. I'm very happy with the depth. I think I'm, doing very well in the depth. But, still a few form issues to tidy up. Anyway, here's Sam. As you can see, he's made some gains on the bench. I think that was 85 kilos just there. And here he's trying 90 kilos, and unfortunately he doesn't quite get that again. But I'm putting this in just so you guys will be able to see the progress that he's making. Because over winter when he's training with me, I'm sure you'll see him absolutely smash that 90 kilo bench, and I'm probably much stronger than that. But here's me just doing an 85 kilo pause bench. As you can see, my setup wasn't perfect, but I've rectified that issue now. I think I was just a little off focus on that session. But anyway, here it is, the deadlift. I've actually got 145 on this bar, and I got 5 reps. And the only issue I have with it is if you look at my lumbar spine, as you can see, it's not brilliant. It's not terrible, but it's not brilliant. It's not how I want it to be. So what I'm going to be working on is lowering the weight a little bit, working a bit more on technique. I might work some more practicing with the deadlift over the next few weeks. Just, obviously much lower intensity, much lower weight, and just tidy up that form a little bit. Try and get my glutes more engaged in the lift. Try and, get down a little lower, get my hips down a bit lower before I pull, all that good stuff. I'm going to be working on that because, to be honest, I feel like I could pull more. I feel like I could continue the progression and keep doing some more round back deadlifts. But for me, honestly, for my peace of mind, I just like at this point in time to have my lumbar spine set how I want it to be. Then if in the future I decide to do some round back pulling, then I will do that. But right now, honestly, my ass to grass squats, they're taking care of most of my legs anyway. So this deadlift is just something I'm going to work on. So here's the row, the barbell row. As you can see, my back looks really good on this. I'm happy. This is the kind of, nice back position that I want to see on my deadlift. Obviously, the position is slightly different, but as you can see, I'm keeping that good back position the whole time. I believe that was 85 kilos. My rows are going really well right now. I'm getting pretty strong on them. I'm hoping that 2-plate row will be coming quite soon. I'm really excited for that. Obviously, my goal isn't quite to get 2 plates, but when I say things are coming quite soon, it might actually be quite a few weeks. But in my mind, I'm always shooting for them heavier weights, and I'm enthusiastic for every session. As you can see, that was just Sam hitting a 30 kilo chin up, and it went pretty well. The guy's made a lot of strength progress. I'm sure you'll see him probably hit them 2 plates over winter as well. And this is me doing my heaviest single on the chin, 37.5, and that's how I wrapped up the training in this cycle. Some of you might have already seen that clip. I uploaded it separately. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A lot to cover there, I know. But if you got any questions, got any feedback, anything, just please leave it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, I hope your training's going well. I'll catch up with all of you in the next video.